In this video, I'll share with you how to set a spring dinner tablescape using these beautiful blue and white dishes. This is how my dining room looks on a typical day. The white, gold, gray, and black neutral colors allow me to pop in just about any color or theme into the space. So for spring, I thought I'd use royal blue to liven things up a bit, starting with this freshly pressed tablecloth. Next, I added a silver satin runner and gold chargers. Now this is a 60-inch round table, and I normally have 6 chairs here, but since I'm only setting the table for 4 guests, I'll remove the extra 2 chairs. I have these cutting boards that I actually never use for cutting. I think they're too pretty. Sometimes I use them as charcuterie boards, but today I'm using them for a totally different purpose. Time to add the beautiful blue and white dishes. See how well they coordinate with the pretty blue and white cutting boards? For napkins, I'm using these bandanas. I've layered a white with blue on top of a blue with white. Then I just pinch them together in the middle. Sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand while I hold the camera in the other hand. But yeah, pinch them together and gather them with a crystal and gold floral napkin ring. They can be placed on the side of the plate, but this time I like them better right on top of the plate. And this is how it looks with the blue napkin on top. I couldn't decide which way I liked better, so I alternated using both ways, making the table setting look more interesting. Now I want to add my serving dishes, but in order to do that, I need to know what I'm serving. I like to make a menu, and this helps me to remember everything that needs to go on the table. My preference is actually to serve food from either the kitchen or from a buffet table. That way the dining table is not too cluttered. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and serve the food family style right on the dinner table. Which way do you prefer? Do you like to keep your table nice and pretty with decorations like me? Or do you want your food served from the table? Let me know in the comments below. This is an ongoing debate at my house. My husband prefers to have the food right on the table in front of us, while I like to keep the food in another area so that my dining room table stays looking clean and pretty. We've got our silverware and stemware in place with the fork on the left, knife right, a butter dish for the dinner rolls and the baked potatoes. Salt and pepper shakers are within easy reach. I'm using this acrylic bowl and lid for the Caesar salad, making sure that I have some tongs to serve the salad. I also have a gravy boat that I'm using for a garlic dill sauce to pour over the grilled salmon. And I have a serving dish for the grilled salmon and a serving dish for the baked potatoes. I put the hot serving dishes on top of the cutting boards to help protect my tablecloth. For me, everything has to be balanced and symmetrical, not just on the table, but with the whole dining room. So the runner has to line up with the center of the window, and the spacing between the place settings has to be centered with the cabinets going in the other direction. Then that only leaves a little room on both sides of the salad for either some candles or some fresh flowers, which means I'm going to have to put the dinner rolls in the bread basket on the drink bar to keep everything balanced. Speaking of the drink bar, let's head over to that area and I'll show you how I set this part up. I have a gold ice bucket that I like to use to chill a bottle of wine. And since this corner seems to get a little dark, I like to add a cylinder vase with a battery operated candle just for a little more ambiance. I'll use the silver pitcher for some ice water and maybe some lemonade or sweet tea on the side. The gold bread basket will get lined with a crisp white linen napkin. And once I have the bread inside the basket, I'll wrap the napkin around the bread to keep the air from making it hard. There. Now this corner is ready. Let's move on to the next area. Since I'm planning to serve some appetizers, I think I'm going to need to move some of these serving pieces around. Maybe put some things in the living room. That way, when the guests first arrive, they can have appetizers in the living room while I cook the salmon. And for additional mood lighting, I think I'll use these buffet lamps and turn off the overhead lighting. These lamps seem to give the room a nice warm glow without being too dim. Now for the dessert area, I have my glass cake stand on top of this Lazy Susan. I will definitely be baking a cake, and I like to put out some treats underneath. I found these adorable treat cups from one of my favorite novelty stores, Pop Shelf. Now I already had my dishes, so when I saw these, I just had to grab them. And look how the colors and design go so perfectly with the dishes. Even the gold scalloped edge goes with the place setting. So I definitely wanted to use these. Then I need my gold cake knife to be out and ready. Here's a few more specialty items that I picked up from Pop Shelf. These blue ruffled napkins, look how cute they are. I have never seen paper napkins like this before. I just love that little ruffled detail. Then I spotted these napkins with the same blue and white floral print and gold scalloped edge like the dessert cups. It was meant to be for me. Just look at that. Now I could have used these on the dinner table, but I opted for the fabric on the table instead and having the paper as the appetizer and dessert napkins. Finally, I got these cheese markers in silver and gold that will match my decor for all occasions. These are a nice solid metal material, and they'll help my guests and my clients to identify exactly what kind of cheese they're enjoying from the board. So I'm excited to use those. It doesn't take much for me, guys. It's just the little things that I love so much. I always set the table and other serving areas the night before. Now it's the next day, just 15 minutes before the guests arrive. Time to put the appetizers out in the living room. It would only be four of us, so we don't need much. We don't want to fill up on snacks and be too full before dinner. It's good to have the cheese already sliced so your guests are not struggling to cut their portions. And have your serving utensils right there on the tray so they won't be tempted to use their hands to pick up the cheese. When serving grapes, separate them into small bunches ahead of time. So again, your guests won't be picking up too many or trying to rip the bunches themselves, touching someone else's portion. These time-saving tips will make your guests feel comfortable and make self-serving areas more convenient for them. And you too will be able to sit with them and enjoy the appetizers without running around looking for tongs and items that should already be out. Spending time with your guest is what really makes you the hostess with the mostest, not the hostess with the mostest stuff. Just before dinner is served, I like to take the cake out of the refrigerator so that while we're eating, it can come up to room temperature. A carrot cake is a great choice for a spring dinner party. You'll notice too, I got some Lindor chocolates in coordinating wrappers to place in the treat cups. And there's ice cream in the freezer to go with our cake. I hope you were inspired by this spring dinner party tablescape. What a beautiful way to bring in the new season. I like to be fancy, but not formal, and to enjoy my guests without stress. With advanced planning, you can host a lovely evening, not to show off your pretty things, but to share them. Don't save your pretty dishes for special occasions. Make every occasion special. Keep your menu simple so that you spend less time cooking and more time with the ones you love. If you're like me and you love entertaining at home, I think you will enjoy watching these videos next. I'm Steph Storm. Happy spring!